Got the
Well, she gets a good whack. She fouls that one back. Had a real nice cut at the ball. Evens the count at 2-2. Yeah, we've got another timeout for one of the ball players. That's Lisa Castillo.
That's Lisa Castillo, who's got the sore thumb, I'm sure. It's right on the nail.
And Hernandez.
Monica's hanging tough up there.
Fouls that one off. And Glendale's got 2 players into the medical tent right now, so they're dropping like flies, Bob. Benisi goes to the rosin bag. 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. She winds, delivers. It's high, 3-2. Lurking on deck is Shannon Felez. And I'm sure she's hoping she's going to get a chance to knock in the winning run here. But not this inning, as Monica Hernandez goes for one over her head. That would have been ball 4.
That would have been ball 4.
But she didn't get cheated out of a swing. She went down firing.
For Glendale, bottom
and now we're going to go into the 9th at the end of 8 full innings of play. Naples, Florida 0. Glendale, California 0. We're at the Major Division Finals for the Little League World Series, where we're going to crown a national champion.
Maybe we'll crown a national champion, Tim. We're going to the top of the 9th inning in what usually is a 6-inning ball game, and neither one of these teams has had even a threat to score. The farthest we've had a runner in this game has been second base. So one of these 2 teams, either Naples, Florida, or Glendale, California, will be the national champion, provided that they can get a run across the plate.
Well,
it's
Bob,
there for the taking.
I think we should have negotiated into our contract pay by the inning. We'd have been cashing in now.
Well, 0 times 6 or 0 times 9 is still 0, Jim.
That's why you're up here, Bob. You're good with those numbers.
For Glendale, 19, Jennifer Smith re-entered the game as catcher.
You might have heard Paul Gray on a public address system. He indicated that for Glendale, Jennifer Smith is re-entering the catching position. Lisa Castillo pinch hit for her. And as Jennifer Smith was a starter, and that's the first time she had been replaced, she can come back in.
Batting for the first time, number 14, Peg Brown.
Well, Elizabeth Bartels is starting to throw the bullpen out in right field, so that gives us some indication what Naples will do at the top of the 10th inning should we reach that point in the game.
We're at the top of the 9th, and leading off is a pinch hitter. Number 14, Peg Brown. She's batting for Angela Curlew. Peg Brown has had a pinch hit during the World Series. She's an 11-year-old. She's staying with Joanne and Tim Morachek. Lefty trying to get something started here. Gene Benici on deck. Top of the order for Naples. Looked like Tracy Young let up on that pitch. Through strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. And Young gets the leadoff batter in the top of the 9th.
Number 12, the pitcher, Gene Benici.
Gene Benici, the pitcher, comes up. She's popped to short, lined to short, and struck out. 0 for 3. Good-looking hitter. Pops this one up. Darlene Anderson calls for it at third base, puts it away. We've got 2 quick outs here.
2 quick outs.
4 pitches, 2 outs.
Number 13, the rover, Melissa Tolson.
And up to the plate comes Melissa Tolson, number 13, the rover. She's popped to second, grounded out pitcher to first, and lined to short. She hits one, beats one into the ground at the plate that goes foul. Really takes her toehold in that batter's box. Good-looking young hitter. Young delivers in the dirt, ball one. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here, top of the 9th inning. 2 balls, 1 strike. And folks, top of the 9th sounds familiar if you're watching Major League Baseball, but for this level, as Bob Klein has mentioned a couple of times, we usually play 6 innings and go home. So we're into the 3rd extra inning here. Just a classic pitcher's duel. Tracy Young for Glendale, California, dueling Gene Benici from Naples, Florida. Pop fly to Cindy Bennett at second base. She puts it away, 3 up, 3 down. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. That was the last pitch that we'll see from Tracy Young.
But Tracy Young has just pitched a magnificent ball game. She threw a 9-inning stint out there. She allowed 1 hit, the 3rd batter she faced in the 1st inning, Victoria Lanier. And since that time, she has just shut Naples down completely. And as I've gone through, I believe, other than the 1 intentional base on balls, that was the only base on balls that she gave up. Well, I take it back. There's 2 base on balls right away.
Thank you.
So 2 base on balls over 9 innings. The strikeouts I did not record there. I don't think they're that significant, but only allowing 1 hit in a championship ball game was just super.
And the two walks, and as Bob mentioned, the one being the intentional pass. Incredible, incredible. Anybody who has done any coaching of Little League softball, you just can shake your head and marvel at the classic game that she threw, and especially when you take that in consideration, the significance of the ball game. Here we are in the final game of the year.
She just pitched herself a whale of a ball game. This young lady out there on the mound right now for Naples is right even with her, I think, all the way down the line. She's given up 3 hits, but up to this point in time, Gene Benici has thrown an excellent ball game.
Well, for 8 innings, they have matched each other, and Gene Benici's going out. This is the last inning that she'll be able to throw. And even though Bob and I are getting warm and hungry and thirsty, I guess I would like to see it go into 10, because you'd hate to see either one of these girls lose a ball game after they've pitched this well.
Glendale, bottom of the 9th, the leadoff hitter, number 12, playing shortstop, Shannon Felix.
But Glendale is at the top of the order. Shannon Felix, their shortstop, number 12, leads off. She has struck out, walked, and was safe on an error by the 3rd baseman.
Well, that's the error that Paul Gray gave that I thought was a base hit. That's why it's scribbled over on the score sheet.
Paul and I joke every year that we never agree on the scoring. Fact is, earlier this week, there was kind of a close play, and we both decided it was a hit or an error. I can't remember which, but we agreed on it. I says, Paul, you're not ready to be the official scorer on Saturday yet until we start disagreeing. And I think he's ready now. In the meantime, Shannon Felix has swung at 2 pitches, and she's down 0-2. First one, she took a pretty good poke at or swing at. The second one, she just kind of waved at. Benici wheels, brings it in high. Felix takes for ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is Cindy Bennett. Felix fouls that ball over the scorer's booth, and she goes back up there with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. In the bullpen for Glendale is Brenda Lyon, and I believe that's Jenny Isaac for Naples. Oh, that's a fair ball.
Fair ball.
And Felez takes the big turn, but she was well advised. That was a nice play down there by Jana Knizovic. Felez turned on that ball real quick, got it over the third base bag. And with 3 outfielders, that's probably a double. But at this level, when they play 4 outfielders, the left fielder is over much closer to the line. But Jana Knizovic dove sort of and kind of smothered the ball, didn't let it get through, and got it back in quickly. Big play, because that could have very well been a runner on second base.
I'm just glad she didn't get tangled up with the observer down there for Glendale watching the pitcher warm up.
Cindy Bennett hits one
That's
straight
right
at Victoria Lanier, and Cindy Bennett couldn't have hit that much better. But it's an out in the scorebook. Tell you, Bob, there's a case where we talked earlier about the fact that they have ruled or voted this year, at least, in the regular season competition to let the young ladies in major levels bunt and steal. And I think I would like to make one more suggestion. I'd like to take the 10th fielder off the field in this level. And that goes with what we've talked about, and you've mentioned that the quality of the major softball has gone up so much. I don't think you need it anymore.
Oh, I think you're entirely right, Tim. Hopefully somebody will send a tape of this to Williamsport, and Dr. Creighton Hale will listen to 2 expert commentators tell it the way it is. They'll change the rule, but I doubt that'll happen.
Tim Who and Bob Who, right? Well, Veronica Acosta hits the ball right back. One hopper to Jean Benisi. Benisi goes to second, gets the force out. She threw to Bartels, the shortstop. And now we've got a runner at first base with 2 outs. The runner being Veronica Acosta, and at the plate, Brenda Lyon, the cleanup hitter. Takes the ball outside. We've got a runner on first base. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Glendale, California, trying to push across that run that'll give them the national championship, the major division of the Little League Softball World Series. Strike called. We've got 1 ball, 1 strike. Jean Benisi from Naples, Florida, trying just as hard to keep them from doing that while she's on the mound. And she's 1 out away from a 9-inning shutout, matching Tracy Young from Glendale. Foul ball back on the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Brenda Lyon. And if she should get out of this inning, when we see Glendale go out there, we will probably see this young lady that's batting right now, Brenda Lyon, go to the mound. She's a lefty. Throws pretty well. We saw her earlier this week. Hot shot.
Whoa.
Jean Benisi grabs that one, throws to first, and we have gone through 9.
For Glendale, bottom of the 9th.
I don't know if they're thinking about it, Bob, but, you know, I think they ought to send another group of collectors through the stands and take another collection. Usually that's done at the end of the 3rd inning. If they'd been on their toes, they could have got one in at the end of the 6th, and this could have been the 3rd collection.
And I think everybody would have paid to see this game. This has been an excellent game. The ground crew is out there now just grooming the infield just a little bit here. But we've seen just 2 pitchers completely dominate this Little League World Series this year. We saw 2 pitchers last night that were almost as effective as the 2 today. So that's 4 girls who have really given up. I don't have the totals from last night, but I think probably in these 2 games a total of, at the most, 7 base hits. And I don't ever recall seeing a major league game, Little League game, this well played in a championship. As you said, both of these teams have been out here now for a little over 2 hours trying to push a run across to claim the national championship, but as of this point in time, neither team has gotten a runner past second base. So someplace, somewhere along the line, something's going to break. We're going to have a key hit or an error or...
Change in the Glendale lineup.
some way,
number 20,
one of these teams is going to walk off this field the national
number
champion.
20, Tracy Young going to first base.
Well, as we mentioned,
In Little League rules,
Brenda
there has to be a
Lyon
pitching change
is
after 9
now
complete
the pitcher.
innings. I'd like to
She's warming up.
have everyone give a good round of applause for the 2 pitchers that had to leave. Number 20, Tracy Young.
And Tracy Young has moved over to first base. And the crowd is giving a well-deserved round of applause to both pitchers, Jean Benisi and Tracy Young, who, because of Little League rules, and I think it's a good rule, they don't want any young player to overextend themselves. They limit them in a regular season that's 6 innings in one game, and in the tournaments like this, they do allow for them to go 9 in a game. And you know, last thing you want to see is a young person hurt their arm. So they're done. They cannot go any further. And I guess that's poetic justice that neither one of them came away with a loss. Pretty hard to lose a game when you don't give up a run, but it's tough to not get the win either.
It's tough not to get the win when you pitch that well, but I think each of these girls would just as soon could care less about their own personal satisfaction of being the winning pitcher if their team could push a run across and win this national championship.
Well, top of the 10th, Naples is in the 3-4-5 part of their batting order. Victoria Lanier, number 21, the center fielder, is going to lead off. She's made a couple nice catches out there. She singled, struck out, and received an intentional walk.
Which is kind of unheard of in Little League softball.
Don't see that very often. And she's going to see somebody throwing with another hand. Got the old southpaw out there now, Brenda Lyon. She came in against Shippensburg with 2 outs and 2 on and a 2-run lead, and fanned the only batter she faced to register the only save during the World Series this week. She's behind in the count, 2 balls, no strikes against Victoria Lanier. And she goes 3-0. And you talk about a tough spot to come in, and that's the spot that you're asking both of these pitchers.
That's right.
It appears that it'll be Jenny Isaacs for Naples. She's been warming up. It seems like, oh, well, did it hit the bat or did it hit the... And the first base umpire is signaling safe.
Number 22 playing left field, Jenna.
I believe that hit her in the elbow.
It did.
Which is kind of academic because it would have been ball 4, but George Pittman, the manager, wants to see if she's okay.
I think she'll take first base as a hit batter. Hit the batsman.
And up to the plate is number 22, Jana Knezevich, left fielder. She struck out, grounded out short to first, and received the only non-intentional walk of the game from Tracy Young. And it looks like Naples is going to kind of wait this girl out, make her throw strikes. And she hasn't thrown one yet. Brenda Lyon has thrown 5 balls out of the strike zone. And there she goes. And I think, you know, when you come in like this, oftentimes you just need to get that first one under your belt.
You've got to get the rhythm going, and that mound's been all chopped up for the other 2 girls, and she seems to have found the groove now with 2 straight strikes. Count is 1-2. We've got a runner on first base, nobody out, in the person of Victoria Lanier. Strike 3 called. Looked like she might have pulled the string on her just a tad. And up to the plate is Karen Blanford, number 18, the right fielder. And she's got the hat trick today. 3 strikeouts. 3 Ks, man. She's a free swinger. If she hits the ball, it'll go.
Tall, lanky young lady. And now Brenda Lyon is, after 5 balls in a row, has thrown 4 strikes in a row. So I think she's found her groove. This young lady at bat is only an 11-year-old. And most of these all-star teams at this level are made up predominantly of 12-year-olds.
I think Naples, as a rule, generally tries to put 1 or 2 good 11-year-olds on that team just for experience. So you bring them back, and they'll be the...
Line shot, that's going to fall in, but we might have a force out. Okay, and again, there's a case Bob, again, where that fourth outfielder just kills you on offense.
That would have been up the alley in a regular ball game without that rover out there.
Probably been runners on first and third. Instead, we had Veronica Costa, the rover, come flying over, and she was able to take the ball on the first tap and throw over to shortstop or second base for the shortstop. Shannon Filez was there to get the fourth. Line shot, first base, Tracy Young went down on her knee. She was shielded a little bit, screened by the runner. That was a nice play. That ball was hit pretty hard. And you get a couple plays like that, and that's as much noise as I've heard this Glendale crowd, and the team seems to be real pumped right now, Bob. They seem to be real pumped.
Oh, I think they had a tough situation where they had the hit batter. They had a new pitcher that was coming in. She couldn't find the plate initially. And we had two good plays there. One where the rover caught the ball and forced out the runner at second base. And then the last play, which was just a vicious line drive down at first base that Tracy Young just caught. So they came off the field fired up.
Elizabeth Bartels. Number 12, Jean Bonisi, going to shortstop.
Well, what we've got as far as defensive changes here is Jean Bonisi, even though she's on a mound right now, she's giving some last-minute pointers to her successor, Elizabeth Bartels. Bartels moves in from, well, just a minute now. Is that Bartels?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Bartels, who had been playing shortstop, moves into the mound.
Yeah, they flip-flop.
And Bonisi goes to short.
Bonisi goes to short, Bartels goes to the mound.
Well, I had to catch myself there for a minute, Bob, because Jenny Isaacs had been warming up. She's thrown the equivalent of probably 8 innings down the right field line.
If she ever gets in, Tim, she may be tired because Jenny's been warming up before this game started. Now, she has taken a couple of breaks and gone to the dugout, probably for a glass of water, a hot dog, or something like that. And then she's come out there and she's throwing. So I don't know what George Pittman's saving her for, but she's going to be fired out by the time she gets in there.
Well, leading off for Glendale, we're going to have Tracy Young. Tracy Young has hit the ball on the nose basically every time up. She's hit a ground ball, been out second to first, been out third to first, and then was safe on an error. I really can't remember the play, but I haven't agreed with Paul on too many of the errors, so it was probably a hit in my book. Well, the third base coach just asked the on-deck hitter for Glendale. She says, if we score one run, is the game over?
First base,
yes, it is.
Tracy Young.
That's what I like about coaching 12-year-olds.
Probably thought it was something like when you play 21 and you get up there to 20, you got to win by two.
Well, the fans are becoming vocal. Whether they're getting hungry or what, I don't know, but they are getting into this game, and of course we're going into the 10th inning, and it's hard not to get into a game like this.
Well, Klein, I'm going to put the big hex on Glendale right now. I'm going to predict that they're going to push across the run right here in this inning. Bottom of the 10th, 10 minutes to 6 when I said that. So in the bottom of the 20th, you can remind me that I said that, all right? 2 balls, 1 strike. Tracy Young leading off the bottom of the 10th. Elizabeth Bartels facing her first batter. It's a chopper to Bonisi. Bonisi is a vacuum over there, and you just saw it. Picks it up, threw Young out, and up to the plate, Darlene Anderson, third baseman. She's popped to first, grounded out, pitcher to first, and bounced into a force out short to second.
I see big Jack Newland coming over here from Jack's place. He's probably all sold out. Or else he has something on special that he wants for...
I think we can try to talk Jack into getting us something to drink here. We're a little thirsty. Mountain Dew and a Pepsi would sound about right here. Darlene Anderson pops one into right field.
Nobody covering first, so...
Well, that looked like a hit to me, so it'll be an error. That was a tough ball. That was hit right over the first baseman. I think she might have got a glove on it.
Kind of hit.
Oh.
Number 13 playing right field, April McGeorge.
Well, we agreed on that one. April McGeorge now up to the plate. She is the right fielder. She's popped to first, ground out pitcher to first, and flown out to center. Hit the ball hard on that last one to center field to Victoria Lanier. Bartels throws windmill, as you can see. Does not have the velocity that Benisi. Of course, not a whole lot of kids do.
Boy, it's interesting to see this alignment that they have. If April could get the ball right up the middle, there's an opening.
There sure is. Evidently, they feel that that they're going to be pulling this young lady, Bartels, quite a bit more. And it counts 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've got 1 out, bottom of the 10th inning. She hits one over to the right side. Curlew goes over. Her only play is to second, or to first, excuse me. She throws to Crystal Hamilton, gets the out at first. She had to come too far over toward first base to try to get the force. And we've got 2 down now. Runner on second.
Oh, you've got to get the sure out on a play like that.
And at the plate is number 15, Annabelle Camacho, the center fielder. She's walked, struck out, and was safe on an error. And we're going to have a pinch runner going out to second base, replacing Darlene Anderson. It's number 7, Wendy West.
Pinch running will be number
She wears her
7,
name on her
Wendy
front
West.
of the uniform.
Probably the
West
only
Region.
girl out there that has her name on the front of her uniform.
Count is 2 balls, no strikes. Strike 1 called. Three and 1 now. Annabelle Camacho up there with that hitter's pitch coming to her. 2 outs, runner on second base, bottom of the 10th. Take strike 2. We're at George Wilson Field at Vanderburg Park in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where there's a little confusion on the count.
I think the umpires are correct. I think Annabelle might be a little bit confused.
Yeah.
She looked up there and saw 3 balls.
We're at the championship game of the major division of the Little League Softball World Series, where Glendale, California is batting in the bottom of the 10th against Naples, Florida. She taps it back to the mound. Bartels goes to Hamilton. And we're going into that lucky 11th. And
Tim, this is as far as my score sheet goes. Is that an indication that this may be the last inning?
For Glendale, bottom of the 10th, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 left. After 10 complete innings, Naples 0, Glendale 0.
Send our messenger for another score sheet here.
we're going to have to ask Jack Newland to get us another scorecard in the trailer. Bob Klein has burned one off here. Well, Bob, it's not too often that you go through a scorecard, is it?
No, not in Little League. I have gone through scorecards before, but not because we've reached the 11th inning. We've batted around a number of times, but never have I reached the end of a scoreless scorecard at the end of 10 innings. But this has just been, and I can't really say it enough, Tim, that just one heck of a ball game here for the national championship, and it's probably fitting it should end this way.
Getting ready for a charity burger.
Well, had a cloud just come over and it feels pretty good right now. We've been out here in the sun and soaking in the
Leading off
rays.
for Naples, top of the 11th, Number 15, the pitcher, Elizabeth Bartell.
Well, you know, Tim, it's always customary at the World Series at the conclusion of the series that the umpires always go out and have a dinner, relax, and share a little friendship with one another. And I'm sure there are some people walking around here pacing up and down, getting a little bit nervous as their reservation time approaches, and half the team is still out there on the field. So I don't know who's going to have the hors d'oeuvres consumed first, those in the stands or what, but this is really moving along and getting to be one heck of a game.
Well, I know Jack Newland's looking kind of nervous. I hope his reservation wasn't at 6 o'clock. We're in the top of the 11th. Leading off for Naples is the pitcher, Elizabeth Bartell. She played short the first 9 innings. She has struck out.
Applied to the catcher, and then it was involved in a very controversial, well, not a controversy, but hit into a double play.
I can't remember the double play
She hit to
anymore.
the shortstop who tagged the runner and then threw to first base for the double play.
She's up there with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Brenda Lyon on the mound for Glendale. She hits one to second base, Cindy Bennett. Nice looking second baseman out there.
Number 9, the catcher, Tanya
And she looks
Brousseau.
even nicer when she's pitching.
Well, the pop was great, but guess what it brought? Bees.
Tanya Brousseau, the catcher. She's grounded out pitcher to first twice and was safe on air by the third baseman. And, you know, Bob, we haven't really said anything about the catchers, but tell you what, in this kind of heat, anytime that you have to catch 10 innings, and we've got a young lady by the name of Jennifer Smith that's in her 11th inning right now behind the plate for Glendale, that's really, really something. Up and down, using the knees all the time, all the heavy equipment on. Brousseau runs the count to 3-0. We are in the top of the 11th inning. 1 out, Naples, Florida batting. Glendale, California on the field. Brenda Lyon doing the pitching. Brings in that strike for 3-1. And we're waiting for that possible 1 run that'll win this national championship in the major division. Counts 3-2 now. Lyon brings it in a little high. Brousseau takes the walk. Not too bad, but it was high.
First base, Crystal Hamilton.
And up to the plate is the first baseman, number 8, Crystal Hamilton. She's popped to the pitcher.
Popped to the pitcher. Went pitcher to first and then struck out back in the 8th inning.
Takes a strike. Well, the count's no balls, 2 strikes now on Crystal Hamilton. She's just going to try to get the bat on a ball now. Ooh, close pitch. Harry P. said that must have been a little bit outside. And crowd down on our side, the Glendale people kind of groan collectively. And there's a little bloop into, Well, I think that the young lady out there, Veronica Acosta, might have played that not just right. If she'd have stayed back and played it on the first hop, she would have had an easy force at second. Instead, she played it aggressive, tried to catch it on a fly and got in there. Base hit. So Naples is mounting a rally now. They've got runners on first and second, one out, and Angela Curlew is the batter. She grounded out second at first, was safe on an error, and then did not bat the last time.
That one did not bat. That was Peggy Brown that struck out back in the pinch hit in the ninth inning.
Angela Curlew takes a ball. She's had 7 walks in this series. She hasn't had a lot of hits, but she knows how to work her way on at the top of the order and on the yeah.
Now, kind of rolled into that one, but it's still a hit.
She got hit by a bat, hit by a pitch, and Frank Kornblatt is out there right now, and he's going to ask, and I don't blame him. I don't think she made any attempt to get out of the way.
Number 12 playing shortstop, Jean Bonici.
I think she just turned her shoulder right into it, and as they said, took one for the team. But I don't think Harry Peace is going to...
I think the bases are still going to be loaded when this is all over, Tim, with one out. And Jean Bonici is going to be up at the plate.
So Curlew was hit by a pitch with one out. Okay, all this after the first batter was out. We had a walk, a single, a hit by pitch, and now we're at the top of the order with Jean Bonici. Jean has popped to short, lined to short, struck out, and popped to short again. Jean normally gets her bat on the ball.
I think if she puts the ball into play, something's going to happen here.
Okay, they're going to set their defensive line into the infield grass. They're going to go to the plate on a ground ball. They don't feel that they can afford to give up a run for a force out, which I guess I can understand that since we've gone into the 11th inning without one scored.
Well, it does a couple of things for you too, Tim. You brought that infield in with Bonici's ability to hit that ball. She could put it through there. However, I think what she's doing right now, she's going to take a strike up there with the bases loaded.
Well, we talked earlier about how she is up at the front of the plate. She's not going to swing where she's standing in the plate. She's going to take a strike. And that looked pretty good right there, but Harry Peace calls that a ball. Ball 3. Naples is one ball from denting the plate here, and they still only have one out. Well, that looked about like the other one. This time it's a strike. Now the manager in me is kind of starting to come out. 3-1. Now Bonici moves back into the black, where she's ready to swing. If it's in there, I think she'll be swinging. Strike 2. A couple of real pressure pitches by young Brenda Lyon out there on the mound. Now she's got things even where Bonici isn't going to have the luxury to take a close pitch. If it's close, she should be swinging. Full count, 3-2, one out. Lyon winds. Oh, foul ball. And that was close. That was close.
That's why I don't umpire.
Harry Peace. If Frank Kornblatt from Glendale was upset with him on a hit by pitch.
That was a close play.
That was a close call.
And it looked well, we don't have a good vantage point from here. It's right in front of us, but it did look like it went over that bag.
Harry was right on top of it. Never hesitated. And he made that call.
That's fair ball. There's 2 runs in.
Well, now Jean Bonici's back up there with a full count. And the only bad thing is that Brenda Lyon's going to bring another strike in. She's thrown 3 in a row with a 3-0 count. And here we go. And we've got ball 4, and Naples breaks into the lead.
Number 13, the rover, Melissa Thompson.
Up to the plate is the rover, number 13, Melissa Tolson. She's popped to second, grounded out pitcher to first, line to short. And what's that last one there, Bob?
Popped out to the second baseman.
She's up in the front of the plate, or the batter's box. Takes ball 1. And Naples is starting to smell it. I think I mentioned last night that last year, the 1988-7 World Series, strike one, called 1-1. The South representative, Tampa, Florida, lost their opening game and then came back and won the major division, and that is what Naples is on the verge of doing. Olson takes strike two. Our Glendale people are making some comments that she appears to be ducking down, and she is not giving much of a target for a strike zone. And Olson jumps back from that one, but it's called a strike. We got 2-2 count. There's one out. Bases are still loaded. And I guess if Glendale could get out of this with just the minimum damage of 1 run, might not be as damaging, but 1 run looms very large here, and it's 3-2. They're 1 pitch away from another runner being walked in. Ground ball to first baseman Young. She throws home. Nice play. Tracy Young throws to Jennifer Smith for the force out. Real nice play.
Yeah, that helps. That makes it 2 out for Glendale. They have to play at any base now.
Number 21, playing center field, Victoria Lanier.
Up to the plate steps Victoria Lanier, number 21, the center fielder. She's singled, struck out, received an intentional walk, and
got hit by the pitch.
that's right, she did. She takes a strike to start it out. 1 strike count on her, 2 outs, bases loaded, top of the 11th inning. Takes one high, 1-1.
Glendale, California has their outfield extremely deep in this situation.
Well, Lanier can really pop that ball. Takes a powerful cut at it, fouls it off. Still has that tendency to pull her head to take her eye off the ball. And she's down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lyon brings it in high, 2-2, counts even now. And she goes down swinging, but Naples dents the scoreboard with 1 giant run right now. And they are 3 outs away.
1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors, 3 left.
From the national championship in the major division, Bob.
Well, we're down. It's too bad that the winning run in this game, if it stands out to be the winning run, would be walked in. But it is not all untypical at the major division that happens. A number of runs are always walked in. And when you take a look at the control of the 4 pitchers this afternoon that have been out here, it has been excellent for this level of play. And the young lady just had 1 inning there where she got herself into a little bit of trouble with a hit batsman, a couple of walks, and she's in trouble. It was smart playing by Naples, on the other hand, that they were very patient up there. They stood in the batter's box. They were going to take a strike. And as a result of that, they got the walk. So we've got a 1-0 ball game. We're going to have to see what Glendale can do now. They're in the bottom of the 11th inning, and they came out of the winning bracket. And we'll see what they've got now. there.
Well, also a key there, Bob, too, as you mentioned, the patience, and Angela Curlew took one for the team. She just kind of turned in and took that hit by pitch. I'd mentioned she knows how to get on base. She had at least 7 walks coming into this game, and that was the second time that she'd been hit by a pitch this week. So she knows how to get on base, and that also was a key play. We're coming to the bottom of the 11th now with Jennifer
Leading off
Smith
for Glendale, bottom of the 11th.
leading it
Number
off.
19, the catcher, Jennifer Smith.
She's the catcher. Done a real fine job behind the plate for 11 innings.
Reached base safely in the 2nd inning on the 3rd inning on a fielder's choice, and then she was out pitcher to first in the 6th inning, and then again in the 8th inning she popped out to the catcher. So
Takes a strike. Well, if this was Benici out on the mound, I think we could say it was all over, but we really haven't seen enough of this pitcher, Elizabeth Bartels, to say whether or not the situation is grim. Certainly bleak at this point, but it's not
well,
over.
you never know. All it takes is a small streak of wildness.
Ground ball back to the mound. It might have been deflected. Benici comes up with it and throws her out. I'm not sure if the pitcher got their glove on it or not.
I don't think so. It looked like it bounced over her glove, but anyway, it was probably just as well because Benici picked it up and gunned her out.
Well, you want Benici to handle the ball as much as possible because she is a premier athlete. I think we're going to have a pinch hitter here, number 14, Cameron Hall.
Cameron Hall is going to be pinch hitting for Monica Hernandez.
Cameron Hall is a 12-year-old. She's staying
Now
with
pinch
Carol
hitting
and
for
Joe
Glendale,
Dimmick,
number 14, Cameron Hall.
as was the pinch runner that we had a little while ago, Wendy West. Cameron Hall has batted once in this series and is a pinch hitter and has not had a hit yet. Quite a situation for this young lady to be put into. She takes a ball, and again, and there's a strike. The importance of at least getting a base runner on and try to get something going here is of the utmost. Takes ball 2, 2 balls, 1 strike. And then in the on-deck circle is the top of the order, represented by Shannon Filez. 3-1. That would be a big base runner to get on.
Glendale needs base runners badly at this point in time.
Because they're up to some of their better hitters. And there it is, ball 4. Shannon Filez has struck out, walked, safe on an error, and single. And after her, Cindy Bennett, who has had 2 hits and hit a long fly to center field.
Monica Hernandez is going to run for Cameron Hall.
And the pinch runner will play left field.
And she was the young lady who was pinch hit for, so she's being reinserted in the lineup. She
Now
was the
batting
starter.
number 12. the
Probably wasn't a
shortstop,
bad move
Shannon
by
Felix.
manager Ron Young because Monica Hernandez has had 3 strikeouts prior to that. So
And,
by inserting Cameron Hall, he got the base on balls. He's got a base runner now, so he's still in the ball game.
and he's with the top of the order with a couple of hitters here that have been making contact. There's between the 2 of them, Filez and Bennett, there's been only 1 strikeout. Bartels throws the ball well, but not near the velocity as Benici. And there's a ball. And could be that Glendale might take a page out of Naples' book and start taking a strike here. Oh, no, Filez swings. And nobody got to that real quick. The pitcher just stood at the mound. And
That may come back to haunt him a little bit there.
that could have very well been an out. I tell you what, I think Jean Benici would have had that in her hip pocket. And in the senior game today, Vicki Inman would have had that ball and maybe been halfway to second base trying to get a base runner. Counts 2-1. Again with Shannon Filez swinging at the 1-0 pitch, again showing just how much I know about taking a strike. So she's up there hacking away. She hits one into center, but left center with Victoria Lanier, and
Victoria gobbles it up out there. There's
Again,
2 outs.
with that umbrella defense in the outfield, you just don't have many holes for fly balls to fall into. You got to hit line shots, or you just have to jolt one over somebody's head, because that ball was hit well. And we're 1 out away from crowning Naples, Florida as the national champion. Cindy Bennett, 2 singles, ground out back to the pitcher, and a fly to center. She hits a rocket right at Nikki Calavides at third. You can't hit the ball any harder than that. And Naples has come out of the big hole known as the loser's bracket after losing the opening game of this World Series to Indianapolis 2-0. They've come back to defeat Georgetown, Michigan 6-3, Indianapolis 14-0. Shippensburg, Pennsylvania 8-2, and then Glendale, California in a pair of 1-0 games. Bob, that's 17 innings that Naples came at these kids from Glendale and did not give up a run. And you can't say enough about either ball team. Glendale, California losing a couple heartbreakers.
They lost 2 1-0 ball games, and you can't play any better ball than what they've played. It's just being in the right place at the wrong place at the right time, however you want to put it, on which side you're cheering for. But this was just one heck of a ball game. It's just too bad either one of these teams had to lose. But that's the way we play the game. We keep scoring. When we keep scoring, somebody wins and somebody loses. As a result of that, Naples, Florida has repeated as the national champions in Little League softball. And that's a feat that I think they've accomplished before at the major level. They've certainly been a frequent visitor here in the senior level. And they are just a tournament-rich Little League.
They teach them that. They teach them that.
Well, we're going to be having the awards ceremony out on the field. The umpires will stay out on the field, shake hands with the teams. They will be giving the pins to each player, manager, and coach, as well as a runner-up trophy to the Glendale contingent from Glendale, California. And then Naples, Florida will be presented with the pins and the championship trophy. Tournament director Bud Vandenberg will be out on the field soon to do that. They give both teams just a couple of minutes to compose themselves, and Bud will be working his way out on the field with probably Joyce Hassan and Carolyn Bullheist, the 2 ladies who work so hard to coordinate the housing of the teams here.
Well, while we've got a second, Tim, let me run down the totals before we get into all the award presentations. For Glendale, California, they had no runs on 5 hits, and they committed 4 errors, while Naples, Florida scored the big run, 1 run, on only 2 hits, and they committed 3 errors. So we had a pitcher's duel all the way. We had a little bit of trouble in that 11th inning as far as we being Glendale, California, in the fact they got their first out. Elizabeth Bartels flied to the second baseman, but then Tanya Brousseau walked. And then we had a base hit by Crystal Hamilton. And then Angela Curlew, as you indicated, any way to get on was the hit batsman. And then that just left it all up to Jean Benisi, who drew the walk, and that forced in the run, and that really the ball game. It was all summed up in that 1 inning, but it was just a heck of an experience being out here doing this. I'm glad we don't have the if game in the seniors, because that would be started in about 40 minutes.
About 7 o'clock.
And I'm not totally certain that mentally we can stay in it that long.
we had committed that we would do it if it was there, but
my hat's off to the public announcers who do this for a living, because it's not the easiest job in the world to keep your paper shuffled in front of you.
The awards will be presented this afternoon by Carolyn Bullheist, Joyce Hassan, and the tournament director, Bud Vandenberg.
Anybody that has watched
to the champions of the West,
any of the games that we have done
as I read your name,
and hasn't had much exposure to what this Little League Softball World Series is all about, you have to get hooked. You've got to be hooked at seeing the caliber of ball. This is a national tournament. This is the equivalent of what happens in Williamsport on ABC TV every Saturday, a week after our tournament.
April McGeorge.
And you were at the pinnacle of the sport right here in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Monica Hernandez.
And with help of all the good people in this area, the tournament will stay in Kalamazoo, Michigan for as long as we can continue to come up with the volunteer personnel to run this tournament.
Cameron Hall. And the manager, Ron Young. Coach, Frank Kornblatt.
Well, we'd like to encourage anybody who in any way, shape, or form would like to get involved, either with financial support or volunteer or both, or as a housing parent, to give Bud Vandenberg a call, or if you recognize any of the other names we've mentioned, Bob Klein or myself, anybody that we've mentioned involved with this tournament, just give us a call and we would be thrilled to have you involved, because as Bob just mentioned, it just couldn't be done without the volunteer force, the housing people, and it's always kind of feels sad when this thing is over. We're done now for another year, and yet it'll be, you know what they say, Bob, as you get older, time flies. It'll be probably a blink of an eye, and we'll be out here for the opening game for the 1989 World Series, which will be the 10th one in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Pictures are now being taken of the young ladies from Glendale, California.
And now the 1988 Little League Softball National Champions for Major Division, Naples, Florida.
Well, hopefully next year, Tim, we'll get a chance to do some more of the games like this. I think the concept of doing them is excellent. I think a lot of the fans have indicated their desire to have tapes of this to take home to their hometowns. It's been a real privilege and a pleasure working with you, and enjoyed it.
Yeah, Bob, I think that we couldn't ask for better ball games to do. Hopefully,
Nikki Calavitas.
we'll have some favorable comments, and I can't help but think that we won't. And we wanted to give everybody a little taste of what the Little League Softball World Series was all about. And I think we've been successful in that, and the team sure cooperated with us. We won't have to worry about a flag-raising ceremony out in the outfield as we did at the end of the senior game when the flag came down from California and went up for Oregon. The flag flying out at the to the left of the U.S. flag is the Florida flag.
They may want to just take it down and put it back up again. I think if I won the national championship after 11 innings of play, I'd like to run to the outfield and pull that flag down and put it back up.
Head's groundskeeper Rich Geasley is heading out that way.
Bud Vandenberg will present the national
might very well be what he has in mind.
Trophy to Naples.
One of the things we haven't mentioned, Tim, and I just happened to see Harry Pease come over here, the umpires did an outstanding job in this game.
Oh, man.
They were, as you said, I think, earlier in this game, really not observed on that field.
No.
And when you do that, you know you've done an excellent job. And they did that, and the volunteerism that is there and the commitment that these umpires have coming here from all over the United States is just really appreciated by the players, the coaches, the managers. And I know, having been involved with the tournament, that great care is taken that any sort of a problem that could come up is really discussed before it even has a chance to take place. And again, hats off to Bud Vandenberg and his Central Committee for another outstanding tournament here at Kalamazoo, Michigan in the Little League World Series.
Well, the Naples champions in the major division are out there with their fans on the field, the hometown fans getting snapshots, probably some of the housing parents out there too. To just quickly recap, in the senior division, the championship went to Tigard, Oregon from the west. They defeated Canton, North Carolina 3-2. And in the major division, Naples, Florida from the south region defeated Glendale, California in 11 innings. That's right, you heard it, 11 innings, 1-0. 2 new champions. And they just gave their cheer for Naples. And,
well, they had their back to the wall all the way. They lost the first ball game, and coming out of the losers bracket, as you know, having managed tournament ball is not easy. You're playing everybody that comes down, and they played an additional 3 ball games to get here.
As George Pittman said after they lost the first game, it now becomes a 5-game single elimination tournament
That's
for us.
right.
And he kept going. That's 1 down, 4 to go, and boom, boom, boom. And they got stronger as the tournament went on. They threw 3 shutouts, and you just can't improve on 1-0 pitching in the 2 games that they eliminated Glendale, California. They're all exchanging, making sure that they get their right awards. They had pictures taken out there with their championship flag. And our congratulations to George Pittman and Connie Ledbetter. We're at George E. Wilson Field at Vandenberg Park, Kalamazoo, Michigan, where the Little League Softball World Series is just concluded for 1988. We'd like to thank people from Community Access who've been with us.
A tradition at the World Series.
Bring this to the
state flag of Florida being put up by Naples will replace the state flag of Florida, which was put up by
people
Tampa
out
Bay
there in
Little League last
Kalamazoo.
year.
And now Naples is going to walk out and have their flag probably run down and run back up. And it looks like we're going to...
You can tell it's 11 innings because the girls are walking out there. Usually they run out there. But we're about ready to wrap this up here at in Kalamazoo, and we've had a full day of softball starting at 1 o'clock, and it's now 6:30. We've had 2 ball games, 2 national champions, and
Well, we'd like to thank everybody for watching with us. Bob Klein, thanks for helping out with the color commentary, the expertise that you brought to this broadcast.
well, I don't know how much expertise I had, but we did fill a few voids, I think, in there between the 2 of us. So.
And all the people that chatted with us over the 3 games that we had, we'd like to thank them all. So on behalf of Bob Klein and Tim DeHaan and all the rest of the people on our committee with the Little League Softball World Series, we'd like to thank you for being with us. And again, thanks to the people with Community Access. And we're going to sign off as the flag is raised for the state of Florida, representing Naples as the national champions in the major division. Thanks again for being with us.